Beep to beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the EDI Jester. And today we have for you this morning to awaken you from your slumber, if it's morning where you are, or to follow you to bed, if it's evening where you are, the story of a bloviating windbag of epic proportions who made a complete twat of himself in court and continues to do so in the press. This is glorious, right? This comes from the National Scot, which is the links are in the doobers as usual. Or buy me a coffee, warrior teacher. They're in the doobers as usual, right? Okay, so this particular bloviating windbag lost his cool completely in a court case, as you'll be well aware. I will be, forever grateful to anybody who shares this on Twitter and puts underneath exactly what it was he said in the court case that made him look such a nonsense merchant. So it begins. An MP is told how it is a grim time for trans people in Scotland as a result of an insidious culture war imported from the United States. John Nicholson said while Scotland had become the most gay-friendly country in all of Europe. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that it's hostile to gay people, Nicholson? You absolute bloviating windbag. And I can call you that because I'm one, right? Play some music while I'm filming, why don't you? Go away. Right, Nicholson, you windbag. No, I wouldn't, it makes me think twice about going there, the trans nonsense, because it's so homophobic. You've got to remember that transgender is at its roots homophobia, right? It's like a long, drawn-out, horrible gay conversion therapy for people like me. You don't understand that, Nicholson. I don't know why, because you're a gay bloke, even if you did, you still got the, you still got the cupboard sores on your backside from hiding in the cupboard, right? Like the rest of us did. But you really don't get it. You don't get it, mate. He said, while Scotland had become the most gay-friendly country in all of Europe, Nicholson, you just don't get it, mate. It was important not it was important not to be too complacent about equality. There's no equality in allowing the rise of a cult that thinks that being gay is something bad, which is exactly what transgender is. To its core, there is no saving it. You idiot! And then world peace. In the comment made by his MP colleague, the SNP MP, who in a previous career in journalism was the first BBC presenter to come out as gay, said there had been an explosion of transphobia in Scotland in recent years. He's a Vichy gay. He doesn't see it. It's conversion therapy. Nicholson, it's conversion therapy. You dozy older gay. Talk to another older gay. Elder gay. I'm going to say older. We're elder gays. We are the elders. Talk to another elder gay. Give Dennis a call or Clive. Or have a chat with me. We'll put you in the picture, you ridiculous conversion therapy supporter. Is that what you are now? Oh yeah, he's effeminate. Let's make him into a woman. Is that what you are now, Nicholson? In a comment made about his MP colleague, Joanna Cherry, go Cherry. Go, Joanna. A vocal critic of the Scottish Government's gender reform legislation, he said the SNP group at Westminster was very LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender, or was in Cherry's case, LGBT without the T. Correct. Right, that's where we're going. All right. Nicholson below went on to say that the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, which was passed by Holyrood last year before being blocked by Westminster, had been mischaracterised to a grotesque degree. Hang on, I'm only at 270 degrees. No, I've looked at it from 360 degrees and there is no grotesqueness. I don't think it was mischaracterised at all. It's a gay conversion therapy bill. End of story. The bill, if implemented, would allow trans people to obtain legal recognition in their preferred gender without a medical diagnosis, with gender recognition certificates granted on the basis of self-identification. In other words, gay kids that have been caught up in this gay conversion therapy by teachers and social workers and vile homophobic parents would simply be waved through so that they could mutilate their genitals. Isn't that right, Nicholson? Is it? If I'm wrong, tell me. Come on, open your mouth, speak. Just say something more comprehensive than you did in that bloody court case. You dozy bugger. Cherry is among those to have raised concerns. Cherry is amongst those to have raised concerns. I do wish that I said. Cherry has the pip. Sorry, Joanne. I can't resist. Cherry is among those to have raised concerns about the impact this could have on female-only spaces and women's safety. And I, Mr. Nicholson, am raising those concerns for young gay men who will be caught in this ridiculous cult. But Nicholson, speaking at an event with journalist Graham Spears at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, it's all happening there, isn't it? Right? Which insisted the Gender Recognition Act, which was passed in the Scottish Parliament with a huge majority, has been mischaracterised to a grotesque degree, and we have imported a very insidious culture war from the United States into Scotland. He just doesn't get it, does he? He's that thick. He then said again, if I was a young trans kid, I would be finding this grim time to be alive. There are no trans kids, you absolute, unbelievable, safeguarding ignorant, bloviating windbag. I'll stick with that, despite the fact that you're also a moronic troglodyte. Yeah. An ageing monolith of flesh, right? A wibbling bag of nonsense. There's no such thing as trans kids. What are you saying? Right, so, okay, so these children that have dysphoria, is that what it is? Is that what this identity is, John? Is it an identity that we've made out of a medical condition? How you doing there, John? You keeping up? Keeping up, are we? The Ochil and South Perthshire MP continued. The bottom line is this. It is horribly, horribly easy to attack women in society. Women get attacked all the time, often in a family unit statistics show, but all over the place. It just doesn't seem credible to me that a heterosexual man, because that is who attack women, it's not gay men, and it's not trans women. Heterosexual... Just what? It's not trans women. Talk to a trans widow. It's not the fact that you appear to not get it, which I can forgive you for. If you're genuinely innocent and ignorant of most of this, I could say, right, okay, John, let's have a cup of tea. Cake? Oh, perhaps you shouldn't. Right, but we'll sit and have a chat, you and I, over a cup of tea. No milk. Because we're in both the same boat, I imagine. No impending heart attack. Heart attack's on the way. Right, we'll have a conversation, you and I, okay? And then I can introduce you to some trans widows who will tell you exactly how violent these men are. Exactly. And your belief that trans women are incapable of that is incredible. They are not going to go to the problem of getting themselves a gender recognition certificate to dress up in heels and wig in order to go into a private place in order to assault women. He genuinely doesn't get it. It's just absolutely deranged. How do you tell them apart, John? So, if you, because obviously you think there are trans kids. There aren't any, by the way. There's no such thing. Okay? So what you're talking about is people who are terribly unwell, who have taken in the past, because it will be in the past soon, we won't be able to do it in the future, in the past, who have taken extraordinary steps in order to alleviate that. Or are you talking about the thousands more men who do it because they want the titties so they can have a bit of a, bit of a slapping time with the flap dangler? Is that what it is, John? Come on, me old goat. Right. If you go through the court documents, the statistics show trans women do not assault other women. Yeah, if you read Twitter, you would think the only people who attack heterosexual women are trans women. You haven't been through them, have you? You haven't been through the court documents or the statistics, because if you had, you would know what percentage of trans women are in prison for sexual assault. Wouldn't you, Johnny boy? Hey? Give us a call. Have a chat. I'm open to talking to you, but you need to get your head round this. Nicholson went on to liken the prejudice suffered by trans people today to the abuse endured by gay people previously, as he called on politicians and powerful people with a platform not to attack them. What are you talking about? You remember, John? No, you weren't there, were you? When we were fighting for things like equal marriage, when we were fighting for things like the equality of the ability to be classed as that person's relative in order if you wanted to go and see them when they were terminally ill, or the fact that you wanted to get the house when they died, all the stuff that we fought for. I wasn't there for most of it. But I knew the men who were. And you're saying that you remember how gay men stood up and said, right, we want to get to your kids in schools so we can teach them, right? We want to get to teach them, so we can practice queer theory. Never happened. All we ever asked for was to be treated as human and equally. That's not what this is, John, and you know it. I'm sure of it. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster today, because one minute I think he doesn't get it, next minute I think he does get it. What an odd bloke you are. All those gay men that said, oh, it's absolutely necessary that we have hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of surgery on the NHS to remove our cock and balls. There is no comparison between the history of what happened to gay men and men LARPing as women. None. And that you should say so is an utter disgrace. How dare you? How dare you compare the fetishistic behaviour of heterosexual men, who incidentally hated us from the beginning as gays, because we really do disprove their nonsense. How dare you compare that to the fight that gay men went through from 1950 until very recently in order to enable you to stand up in Parliament or as a journalist at the BBC and come out as the first gay journalist, which, by the way, you weren't. The fact that you worked for the BBC gave you some credibility because that really was an absolute gift to the left, wasn't it? Who'd have ever thought you'd end up being so phenomenally left, phenomenally right-wing in your thinking that you imagined it was okay to actually call for, vote for, and help pass in the Scottish Government a bill that allows for the wholesale conversion of gay men, to rid them of their homosexual status by making them into women. 100% in the Dutch cohort, John. 80% in the Tavistock cohort, same-sex attracted. And you don't even understand what the queue is. You've no idea what the queue is. You've no idea what it means. You've no idea what the theories are behind it. You've no idea what it actually signifies. Because if you did, you wouldn't be standing up there and sticking your knob to the flagpole. Trans right to human rights. Here's your progress flag. What do you want to do, John? Do you want to keep on making an ass of yourself? Or perhaps you'd like to talk to some of the older men in the community who don't live in a bubble of politics like you do, who will tell you exactly what this stinking belief system is and what it does to gay men. The invitation's open. You want to talk? Come talk to me.